You set the place ablaze yesterday by calling Jack Grealish a moron.
Okay.
Gabby Agbonlahor was not pleased with you this morning.
So I understand.
We are going to be talking about this and get some kind of a kind of more logical reaction to it this morning.
Okay.
But to be quite honest, Trevor, I know you've got your own views on this as well. But yesterday, after he did what he did and said what he said about Messrs Foden and Grealish having a few drinks after the 7-0 thumping City got over Newcastle, then over Leeds United, the place went mad.
Yes.
I mean, everybody was talking about this, but most, I have to say, were supporting Mr Jordan.
Yeah, I can understand that because you know my stance. I understand players need to let off a bit of steam at times, but this is not that time. I have to say, you know, what is it, 2 years ago, I defended Phil Foden when he had a bit of a misdemeanor.
Boys will be boys, you said.
Exactly that.
Is this another boys will be boys situation?
It's different. It's different. And the main reasons why it's different is, one, because we're in a pandemic where I think you've got to respect and safeguard the rest of your teammates from picking up this disease. And also, the second reason is, I think when you look a little bit deeper, when you know that Pep's lost his mum to COVID, I think you have to be a little bit more empathetic towards him and towards the team. And yeah, it's a bad call from the boys to go out clubbing it and coming in a little bit worse for wear.
So now, was it a bad call by you, Mr Jordan, calling Jack a moron?
I think it's a fair observation based upon his behaviour. I'm not saying that Jack Grealish is a nasty, unpleasant individual. I'm not attacking his personality. I'm talking about his behaviour.
Yeah.
If you repeatedly put yourself in the way, if you do things once, it's a mistake. If you do things twice, you start to move into the foolish territory. If you do things 3 or 4 times and garner and gain the same attention for the same sort of behaviour, then where else do you move? You move into the territory of being moronic in your behaviour and a moron by definition. Now, you know, I know that people don't like that, and I know it's strident, and I was told this morning by someone that listened to the show that that Gabby had made some observations about me and defending his friend, and I understand that. The bottom line is a kind of irony about being offended on someone else's behalf about someone calling somebody a name whilst calling them a name in return. I think that might have evaded Gabby when he was talking about me being bitter and twisted and a failed owner or whatever else it is. And listen, I can't voice opinion on someone else and then not accept the fact that people will voice an opinion on me.
Well, exactly. Let's see what Gabby said. He was on breakfast this morning. Bear in mind, Simon, he'd been in touch with Jack last night, and you're not top of Jack's Christmas card list, that is for sure.
Oh,
more on before we start. Is a fool, an oaf, or a nincompoop? So was Simon right? This was Gabby this morning.
I think I've googled moron to find out the exact meaning, and it's obviously stupid person. I think that's harsh. I feel that Simon does say some good stuff, doesn't he, when he speaks? He's a very clever man, says some good stuff, but he just sounds to me like a bitter ex-club owner who, you know, it didn't go well for him at Palace in the end, dislikes players. You could just picture negotiating a contract with him, Al, Cass. You know what I mean? It'd be a nightmare. It'd be like, no, you're not having that. Not a chance. So for me, like, I thought that it was shocking from Simon. I mean, every player doesn't mind being criticised by the media, but when you start name calling, I think it's too much. So for me, not acceptable from Simon. Should apologise to Jack. And even Jim White's comments when he said it, defending Jack. He knows Jack's a good lad.
So you're okay then?
Oh, I'm okay, yeah.
I mean, there is a school of thought, if I was being facetious, that Gabby doesn't need to Google the word moron. He can just put a mirror in front of him. There is a school of thought for that.
Oh, but I thought I was going to have to be security. He was going to come in the studio, wasn't he? But
yes, I understand that. But I mean, obviously, again, Gabby's probably not programmed for questions, so it's probably better that he didn't.
But Gabby, to be fair, has just left the building. He was going to come on live, but he thought better of it, and that's up to him.
Indeed.
The bottom line is this. Gabby's saying there, Simon, you're right to have your view, and of course you will always be strident with your view.
Yeah, of course.
On this occasion, did you push the envelope too much? Do you think you're due Jack an apology?
No, I don't think so at all. I think if you can praise people, you can criticise them. I've been a major advocate of Jack Grealish's talent. I've talked about him in glowing terms, and with the yin comes the yang. You can't have a litany of behaviour starting from laying all over benches in summer holidays, getting yourself drunk so you've got a reputation that people don't trust you. You build up the reputation again through your football. You then find yourself on the side of a road in a pair of slippers. You then find yourself on the other side of the law because you're drink driving or whatever the situation was.
Do you think Jack's got himself a reputation, Trevor?
I think he was getting rid of that. I think his professionalism over the last few years has been good. I think he's He's human. What people have got to realise is if you've got a front man of a band, an analogy, who goes in front of 50,000 fans and absolutely blows their heads off with amazing performance and creativity, you can't expect that same person then to go home, sit in his house and be a robot. And it's the same with footballers in a way.
And you've got to be given a little bit of latitude, because I said it yesterday.
I understand
in the context. The moment I said it, I knew that the boys here would clip and crop it and put it out in a certain way.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And I said to Jimbo, they'll clip and crop that in a certain way. The bottom line is, I also went through the dynamics of why I made that situation, why I made that observation, and why I was disappointed in the circumstances he found himself in, because he's gotten rid of a reputation. Correct. He's now being judged upon his football. Yeah. Right? The bottom line,
and he's worked hard for that, Simon, as well.
And his talent has shone through. Yeah. But now he puts himself in a way of, and I don't think, okay, maybe I picked the wrong word. Maybe it should be imbecile or buffoon. But if you're behaving in a certain way, why wouldn't you be called out for it? In football, we're all guilty of this. We all run around in this little bubble thinking we're far more important than we are, and we all get a little bit precious about what we are and what we're not.
I don't agree with that.
Well, listen. If someone's behaviour is moronic, and this is moronic behaviour, rocking in for the biggest club,
it's a one-off.
It's not a one-off.
Well, it's a one-off this season, isn't it?
Oh, okay, then. So one a season is permitted, is it? Right?
He's human.
You've got, Simon,
and he's young man.
Got to think
he's 26.
about
and we're going
players.
For, he's a young 26. Man, and we're going
You're
for a
very
pandemic.
quick to jump on players. Are you not? If they slightly step out of line.
I'm very quick to make players accountable for the wonderful position that they occupy.
And he's been made accountable. He's been dropped from the team, right. And I'm sure he's going to learn from that. And so I'm asked
the question about Jack Grealish's behaviour and my view on it, and I cannot think of a better way to explain it. If you want to keep putting yourself in the way of situations like this, then that must, by definition, border upon being a moron.
Just rewind that a minute. Putting yourself in these situations. I've already said this to you many times.
Sure.
We had the privilege of not having pandemics when we were kids.
It's not about pandemics.
Well, that's the only thing. Listen, if he went out for a drink and he came in a little bit groggy,
no.
Big deal.
Hang on,
but it's through a pandemic. That's the reason why.
You're a professional footballer. Let me just make this point, and you can come back at me. You're a professional footballer playing for arguably the best club in Europe with the best manager, who, by the way, is away. Right? You're given dispensation to go out and have a little bit of a blowout, and you come in the next morning not fit for purpose.
Well, they wouldn't be doing anything anyway, Sam, and you know that.
It's not about pandemics for me. It's not about pandemics for me.
For me, there's two things for me. One, the pandemic. So you're putting yourself in harm's way of people who potentially could have the virus, and then you could potentially take that back into the squad, and that could affect results.
But that's not why I called him a moron.
For me, when you look at it, he's gone out. He's been told he can go out. He's gone out.
And he's abused it.
He's not abused.
You can't defend it, Trev. You can't defend the indefensible. The manager, who is a player's manager, has come in and announced to the world's media, this boy has been dropped because he's worse for wear.
Trevor, I've got to say to you, at this stage, I'm looking at it. It was the same yesterday. There is not one voice getting in touch this morning going against what Simon is saying. And I have to say, Spurs Andro, a friend of this show, as sure as day follows night, Trevor, defending players, it's priceless. And then I look further down, Robin Peterborough, Team Jordan, all day for me. Jack's a talented footballer, but he's acted like a moron and keeps making the same mistakes, which is the point Simon's making.
It's moronic behaviour.
Robert Goodfellow, Simon is 100% right. Jack would admit it. He's been a bit silly. There's one. Joe, Manchester United fan. I disagree with Simon. Grealish is not a moron. Oh, here it comes. He's imbecilic. He's cretinous, and that's regards Joe. I have to say, I mean, listen. If you think Simon is right with the vocabulary he used regards Jack and Foden and what they did at a time like this in which they did it, give us a call. If you think Simon is wrong and that moron is too much and it gets into a territory of over the top, as definitely Agbonlahor thinks, give us a call as well. We'll get a cross section of opinion, I've no doubt, but we're willing to take it on the chin. Send me a message 81089 or give us a call 03717 223344. There's another one. This is what we're up against, Trevor. Viva in Aldershot. We love Simon. Say how it is and don't stop saying how it is.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.